Hello, I am here with a very special guest. I've known him for quite a few years. It's been about since at least 2015, and I met the guy first time 2019 at a Zoho event, Zoholics, and he was emceeing it, so I got the full experience of our guest. He was wonderful, and it was just a blast meeting him, and ever since then, I've got to, hang out with him here and there, and now I get the great honor of being able to interview him. He's got some special news, so without further ado, we have Ramon Ray.
Hey,
Hey,
Leland.
Ramon.
Leland, it's good to see you too, man. You and I have been emailing. We probably have 10,485 emails between the two of us and our friends and mutual people we know. And watching you build Small Biz Trends has just been beautifully amazing. And so that's been
Thank you.
great. And yes, it's amazing how similar you and I are. But God makes us all different. I'm definitely the hype and bad type guy. You're the quiet nerd, but we both love small business and both are super smart people.
Yes.
So I say that in upliftment, of course, but it's amazing how we show up different. But I appreciate you and what you build and the what thousands of articles you all have published over the years on small biz trends and
Mhm.
the learning from you on our show with Brent, right? Small biz breakdown and other things we do. So thanks for having me here today. It's good to be here.
Yes,
Thanks.
thanks for being here. So you got some great news.
Yeah.
It's kind of, given away a little bit in your title there, but, why don't you go ahead and announce your wonderful news?
Yeah, I will indeed. Brent, it's amazing. You and I talk quite a bit about tech. That's what you all do on Small Biz Trends, tech, marketing, building a business, leadership, culture, hiring, and all those kind of things, which are important. But also what's important is that we do this safely and security. And you think about it, Brent, you go to your home, I go to my home, you go to your hotel room door, whatever it is, we lock it. We're not living in panic, but we're living in being prudent that there's going to be that one guy out there out of thousands of people who do want to do us harm, who want to go to the doors of our homes or go to our window. We lock those things. We leave our car, whether it's a Ford F-150 or a Tesla or a 1970 Jalopy, whatever it is that we have, we lock that, boop, boop, with a lock. And so what we're announcing today, what we want to share, what I want to bring out and talk with you is to make sure, Brent, that small business owners do that safe and secure. Hackers want to attack us, as I know you know, Leland. You're the tech expert on this, and there's cyber criminals, nefarious people all over. And so I've recently been engaged by Bitdefender. Bitdefender is an amazing company that has USA offices here and a global company around the world as their small business ambassador, doing things just like this to show up and say, yep, build companies, build a business, be a small business owner, be an entrepreneur, but to be it secure. And so Bitdefender has amazing solutions. One of them is the ultimate small business security solutions and more, a lot of thought leadership and content to help small business owners be secure. And so that's what I'd love to talk about with you today, how we can be more secure and not live in fear, but how we can be secure in our businesses.
Awesome. Great. I've been a fan of Bitdefender for a long time. Being a gamer and
Mhm.
real techie. I've had Bitdefender on my computer quite a few times growing up, and it is a very essential part, especially to small business owners, because at the core of your business is data.
Yeah.
And so it is really important to be able to secure your data and be able to make sure, because any kind of interruption, then all of a sudden, bam, you know, you could be out permanently
Mhm.
or at the least, months at a time. So, what is your role when it comes to Bitdefender?
Yeah, the role is kind of like a regular ambassador, like a real ambassador. Bitdefender is my colleague there. Her name is Christina, and who she works with is Emmanuel. They're like the president and vice president. But my role is to go forth, really, Brent, really Leland, and to let small businesses know, build a great business, but be more secure. So in that role, for example, saying things like this: it's a fallacy. It's a mistake to think that I'm a small business. All I have to worry about, the bigger brands have to be more secure. So one, that is incorrect. Hackers want Leland. I keep calling you Brent because we just came out with our friend Brent, but hackers want Leland. They want to attack even the smallest small businesses. That's number one. Number two, it's a mistake to think that all I have to do is maybe be careful what I click. That's part of it, Leland. But hackers and threats, as you know, because you're in techie, right? This is what you do. They're so sophisticated, it's even easier to do more than ever. That's number two. Part of that role is making sure small businesses know. Part of it, Leland, is mindset. To have a secure mindset, but part of it is, as I said, installing great software. You go to bitdefender.com/Ramon, bitdefender.com/Ramon, installing great software. It's what? 200 a year, depends on the license, 189 a year. It's less than you spend on coffee, or what you spend on maybe some of your AI tools. So it's an investment. That's number three. Number four, Leland, is to train your team, train your staff. Hey, before we click, before we send, before we go to this website, let's be more aware. And lastly, and I'll see what you think about some of these things, Leland, is also the aspect of phishing. That's huge. Leland and I work for Leland, and I get a voice note, I get an email, I get whatever I get that says, hey, Leland says it's okay to wire the $1,392 for this client. And I go ahead and do the buttons. I do the things I should do, and I send it. I see Leland tomorrow morning for breakfast. No, Ramona, I was away on vacation. I didn't tell you to wire anything. So Bitdefender solutions help secure you in times like that. And these things that hackers, that cyber criminals, they do want to attack small businesses. And the message of the day, be secure.
Yes. And especially for that last one, because we have a friend, both of us, who was the victim of a phishing attempt. And it was the former owner of Small Business Trends, Anita Campbell, sending a message to our friend saying, hey, why don't, I'm in some real trouble. Why don't you send me a gift card? Because it really helped me out. And unfortunately, because our friend is so loyal
Absolutely.
to, she sent it right away. And then after that verified. And then after that realized, oh, geez, it was a phishing attempt. And it could be brutal, because that was like a couple $1,000s, and it was just, it's gone. It's in the ether.
And I like how it was sent to. Gift card is like, hey, Leland, send me some money. No, this is not Ramon. But, listen, Leland, can you help me out? I'm in a solid. Just send me a quick gift card. It's part of the mind games, right? It's part of it psychological. And then it's what it is. Please continue. But that's an example of phishing. Exactly.
And it's something that you need to be very aware of, especially as a small business owner, because there are so many people out there who you work with, and it's sometimes hard to verify whether or not something terrible is happening, because you want to trust your friends. You don't want to be like, this is really suspicious. I don't trust you, because they're your friend.
Yes. And here's the way to do that, Leland, as we're talking about what are some practical things people can do. A simple reply, not reply back. This is the thing. Don't reply back on those, because the from email, as you know, Leland, this is in your field. If you know this stuff very well, the from thing you can reply to could be the hacked one. So no, let me manually type in Leland's email address, or take the cell phone number that I know is true and call Leland on that. Do some basics of due diligence. That's the way to combat that. Don't just click on it or just reply to it, because you could be 3 a.m. You may not be realizing it didn't say Leland, it said Lee Tand. Things like that. So that's what Bitdefender is really all about, is really to be aware, train your team, and understand before you click, before you respond, make sure you do some bit of verification. Oh, and Leland, I should have mentioned, of course, two-factor authentication. That's important as well. The basics of you can do. It's a little pain, but when you log into your software, especially before you're authenticated, is there a little text that comes before you change your password, before you update things, something secondary that comes to you to authenticate who you are?
Yes, that is a huge benefit, the two-factor authentication. I know it can be a pain, and I groan every time I have to pull out my phone and be able to get the digits and type them in. But it is so important to be able to have that second, because once your password's out there, and my password is leaked every 5 minutes. I swear I get another notification from Google Chrome saying, hey, this password is no longer secure.
It's on 5,000 lists we just scanned. Well, tell me else what's new.
Again, okay, change everything again. But that second authentication is like, they can't get your phone number. That's yours. And so being able to have that text authentication is so critically important. So many entrepreneurs see cybersecurity as something big companies worry about. How do you plan to change that mindset in your
you're
role
right.
as the brand?
Yeah, I think you're like Ramon. Hey, you're the ambassador. So, dear ambassador, what are you going to do? Listen, it takes continuation, I think, from people we trust. And this is part of it. Bitdefender is an amazing company with research and scientists who are in this for so many years understanding it. But I think what Bitdefender is doing, what you and I are doing, and say, hey, we need other voices that people trust. Leland and Ramon, Leland with Small Biz Trends, Ramon from Zone of Genius, to share this message. And so, yes, dear small business owner, I have one of my friends, her name is Cassandra Smith. She has a thriving business. It happens to be a multi-million-dollar business, but it's a small business, a thriving business, teaching people how to do crafts and crochets and t-shirt designs and things like that. Cassandra, if I got it wrong, forgive me, something like that. She's a small business. Hackers want to attack her, Leland. Why? They want to get to her account and her family's account and credit cards and bank accounts. They want to get to her clients' information, her customers' information. They want to get to her community's information. So yes, dear entrepreneur, as you're starting your business, Leland, as you probably know, remember Target's attack. They didn't go through the famous, years ago to Target directly, as I understand it. They went through the HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning guy. Some small time guy went through him, targeted him on his computer, and then got through Target. So multiple reasons why hackers, they can hit a button, Leland, as you know, and they can say, hey, just find us the weakest link, big or small. Find us the weakest link. That's what Bitdefender in this role here as being their small business ambassador. That's what we want to solve for. That's what we want to prevent.
What do you see are common security holes that small business owners are vulnerable to?
Yeah. I think one, Leland, very few of them are like you, and I'm not even like you who know these things. You're techie. That's the blessing. That's the interest you have in the world. So you're up to speed. But I think some of the security holes, one, weak passwords. Passwords are weak. Your mother's name or whatever it is. That's one. Number two, not changing them frequently. Number three, having lax policies. Hey, we'll do it via this route, that route, whatever route. You're not thinking in a secure way. Four, probably trusting too much. So I would say those four things. And of course, it depends on the size of the business, Leland. You have a 20-person in-person company. Now you have a router. Now you have networks. Now you have computers that are not patched. You have old software that's not updated. You have your online applications, Leland, that are even built from the ground up, not secure. So I think some of the key things that small businesses probably are not doing: A, not updating their software; two, having weak passwords; three, not having a mindset to be a bit more cautious; and four, of course, simple aspect, not having security software installed on your computer. And of course, today we're talking about having Bitdefender Ultimate Small Business Security Solutions installed on your computer and on the computers of your teams.
Mhm. I'd like to throw in just another one there,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
backups, because if something were to actually happen, having a backup to be able to call in just is so much. There's a business that I went to is around COVID, and
Mm.
they were doing an out of business sale, and we're like, oh, geez, COVID got another one,
Mhm.
and we're talking with them, and they're like, yeah, COVID did have something to do with it, but also our computers got hacked and
Mhm.
ransomware, and so everything's encrypted. We've lost all of our books. Scanning
Mm.
codes, everything is gone, all of the stored credit, everything, and so we just have to shut down. A simple backup
Yeah.
and something like Bitdefender
Yeah.
could have actually really prevented this
Yeah.
business from being able to go out.
Yeah.
So, $10 a month or
Yes.
something like that to be
Yeah.
able to save your business is vitally
Yeah.
important.
No, and backups, Leland, I'm glad you brought that up. Backups are so essential and so important. I think that, people don't realize that, to your point, that it just takes a click to go out of business. And I think that the software side of it with Bitdefender, that protects you in large part. You have the dashboard, you have the profiles, you have the different, hey, is this good to click or not? All those things, which kind of forces you,
Mhm.
and intelligently in the background, Bitdefender uses AI to help you be more secure. But this backup is so important as well. It's insurance. It's the minimum you can do, because once you kind of set it, not that you have to forget it and don't do anything, Leland, but it's kind of like AAA insurance I have on my card. After I install it or after I pay for it, I don't have to think about it so much. If something does happen, though, Leland, I don't have to be one of those businesses that go out of business. I have my backup, and I love that you said that backup is critical. And of course, not to get into the weeds of backup, make sure you're backing up properly. Don't just have one backup, you're backing up on a consecutive basis. Maybe it's every 30 days, then you do a full one, or all those things that I know you know. Bitdefender can help
Mhm.
with that. Talk to a local IT security specialist, even depending on the size of your company. But all these things are important because, Leland, you spent years and years and years building up your business. You have a family. This is why we do this. You have a family. You want to build up the community you're in the West Coast of USA. I live in the East Coast of USA. I want to build up my community. I want to make my family a better place. And how irresponsible it would be if I'm just worried about, I made a reels. I did this today. I'm doing this today. And I didn't do the minimal investment to make sure my business is secure. Absolutely.
Exactly. So, what trends? And actually, I said you mentioned AI and AI within
Mhm.
Bitdefender and all that. So, how do you see like the future of like security and whatnot going on with um, AI in the
Sure.
works and all that?
Yeah, I
So,
think two things are happening, Leland, and I love your input on it too, because I know you know this stuff so well. Two things I believe are happening. One, for sure, voice scams are definitely on the rise. AI makes it easier. Voice scams has already been around, but those are more recordings and things. As you know, voice is not new. Politicians have used it for years. You record, hey, this is John Doe. But now with voice scams, you have that breath. Hey, Leland, this is Mary. I just wanted to talk to you today. What was that? It's all AI generated voice bots. So I think that's making it easier to do today and making a crime is becoming more intelligent. Number two, Leland, is crime is becoming easier to do in the same way that you and I and the millions of small businesses we talk to, we're using AI to benefit our businesses. Hackers, cyber criminals are using AI to attack our businesses. So these are two things that are happening, and it's nothing that we can beat on our own. We want you to build a thriving business. We want you to hire staff and grow your businesses. We're just asking that you do it securely through the right mindset, using the right best practices, things that require no software, best practices, and then do the simple, invest in yourself. You spend what, $10 a month, Leland, on ChatGPT or Claude or Anthropic. You spend $7 a month or $20 a month on Canva, whatever you're spending. These tools, it can't hurt to invest spending $100 and something on a software solution, install it on your computers, your tablet, your phone, and make sure that you're secure as possible. And of course, that's what Bitdefender helps small businesses do.
great.
Do I
Yeah.
sound too passionate? Do I sound too angry, too excited? Believe it, am I doing okay?
No, it's good to be passionate about,
Yeah.
especially defense. It's one of those things where it's like, why aren't you defending yourself?
Yeah.
Why are I mean, you got this gaping,
Mhm.
it's like if you were to go to a store
Mhm.
and there was just a giant hole in the wall, and you're like, what?
Ooh, I like that.
Why don't you seal
Yeah.
that hole? You'd go to you'd be like, what's with the hole? Why?
Right.
Oh yeah, it's just there.
Ooh, I
Are you going to
like
seal it? No. Well,
this.
people are going to steal your stuff, right?
That's right. Every day you pass, that's a good point. Every day you pass boy, people are pointing it out like me and Leland, it's there. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. Why? Because you're worried about, I don't know, painting the other wall that's across the hole in the wall when you should be not painting that wall. You should be fixing that hole. That's a great point, Leland. That's a great point. And security, listen, it's one of those things, Leland, I must admit, it is not fun. It is not some hot topic, AI or colors or, ooh, we're going to do a reel. It's not, but it's something that's essential because I would say it's a critical foundation. Get the foundation of your business built right, then build on top of that. So the foundation and of course your doors are locked. And you're keeping you're keeping your dream, making sure your dream is secure.
Mhm. Yeah, security systems are something that you set up, you have in the background, you don't think about, and the same needs to be done about your cybersecurity. You
That's
need to
right.
be able to have everything secure. I put in measures in place to make sure that, like, for my website, I know whenever a file on my
Mhm.
site gets changed, and then from there I go, is that me or is that
Mhm.
someone that's not me? And then if it's not me, it's like, okay, I'm in there. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Did someone get into my site?
Mhm.
It's vitally important to be able to know and be able to sleep at night and go, I'm secure.
That's right.
I know.
That's right.
So as more small businesses adopt to remote and hybrid work models, what special cybersecurity considerations should they keep in mind?
Yeah, this is even a bigger issue, Leland. I mean, it's amazing that even as you're verifying, is the person I'm hiring, are they
Mm,
who they say they are? Wall Street Journal had a huge issue about, North Korea using, agents and others through Americans to hire them in. And it was like, one person then opening their computer up for others. So things of that nature. One, is the person you're hiring even who they say they are? Number two, since they're remote, Is it their personal computer they're sharing with their college student, or is the corporate computer that has access to all the information that your corporation has? That's number two. And I think that's where things like VPNs are important. Bitdefender has VPNs included, and that's where ensuring all the computers that people are using that's attached to your company that you're mandating, if you're going to be accessing our network, your computer must be secure, whether it's VPN or not, but making sure those securities are the security software is installed. And the benefit of that, Leland, is that if you're going to work with Ramon, now we have a central point that we can make sure the computer you're accessing our network is as secure as can be. So that's where the Bitdefender comes in with this ultimate small business security. Do you need 5 licenses, 25 licenses, up to, I think it starts at 3 licenses? What do you need to make sure your entire enterprise is secure? Because we want people to work freely. Whether they're working from home or RTO, return to work. Either way, that's the choice of the leader. But now the leader gets to make the choice they want for their company, and everybody can be secure, whether they're remote or whether they're on premise.
Awesome. Talk a little bit more about VPNs and why small business owners need to really invest in them.
Absolutely. When you're using this computer here, let's say the computer I'm using right now, and I'm within the walls of my office, this is a closed network. And you correct me anytime, Leland, I know you know these things. It's a closed network where I can centrally control everything that's there. However, when I take my computer, my personal computer, let's say, or whatever computer it may be, I take it to Tahiti, I take it to my home office. Now I'm off the corporate network. I'm off the closed network of our company. Now that's going through AT&T, Verizon, Xfinity, public network, going through my friend's gaming network. It's going through the public internet. That data now is open for all. So the VPN encapsulates your data, encrypts your data. It's still going through the open internet. It's still going through however it's going, but now it's encrypted. So it's much more secure. And so ideally, people can't see that when it's going from point A to point B, and it's moving much more securely. That's what a VPN is. Stands for virtual private network.
Mhm. And I would even put it, even when you're at home, you have to go through your ISP. And so I guess it's like, do you trust your ISP more, or would you trust Bitdefender more to be able to know what's going through your internet service?
Mhm, mhm.
But
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're right, though, even through home. And again, it depends on the level, of course, where your company's policies and all those kind of things. I'm not, whether everybody has to use VPN or not in your home network, but I think it's a great point. When you're outside that company wall, outside the company wall, how secure are you? And as Leland, what I'm doing is information. So I still want to be secure. But man, you have you're a medical doctor, you're an attorney, that security you want to think about again and much more. Not that all security is important, but depends on the type of business you're running as well. That may impact what that's like.
so you're the evangelist for Bitdefender. Um, what excites you most about this role?
Yeah. Leland, you and I are working very similar phrases, similar worlds. We both, you and I, impact small businesses. We influence small businesses. What excites me about working with Bitdefender, what excites me about being a small business ambassador is I can be Ramon. I can do what I'm doing. I can champion technology, champion building businesses, champion marketing. And I'm so glad that Bitdefender says, Ramon, we see value in you representing our brand. Nike had Michael Jordan. Well, Bitdefender has Ramon Ray. So it excites me that. Also, what excites me is Bitdefender is a company. It's an amazing company, headquartered, their global headquarters in Bucharest, Romania. They have offices also in the USA, I believe in San Antonio. I think I'm getting that right. Leland, they have a whole network of scientists and gurus and geniuses and ninjas. All they do is wake up every day and study the latest malicious attacks. They study the latest, what we used to call viruses. They study the latest ransomware. These are like academically PhDs, people studying it at the deepest levels. So knowing that I had the honor to work with a company like that, like Bitdefender, and Bitdefender says, Ramon, we'll deal with the complex part. We'll deal with all the research. We'll make sure this software is the best first-class software it is. Your job, Ramon, is to represent us and go forth and let small businesses know they should be secure. And one of the solutions they should definitely consider is Bitdefender. So that excites me, Leland, for sure. Do I sound excited?
Very excited. But you always sound excited.
That's
I've
great.
seen you talking about a sandwich before, and you were very excited about the sandwich. But,
But let me tell you something,
a
Leland. I have
little
this
more.
cup of water with me. It only has one quarter of water left. Leland, it is amazing. In fact, when I sip this, it's like, watch it. Ah, it's fresh.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So you talked about our last
Mhm.
get together, about um some educational material.
Mm.
Do you like
Yeah,
to share about
sure.
that a little bit that
Absolutely,
you
for
have
sure.
available?
And thank you so much. For sure, definitely everybody go to smallbiztrends.com. For my audience who may be seeing this and not be familiar, smallbiztrends.com has been around for a minute. The premier destination for all things small business is my own platform, Zone of Genius. And for sure, I encourage you today, bitdefender.com/Ramon, bitdefender.com/Ramon. You can check out the software itself. Definitely install that on your computers and check out Bitdefender's resources. Leland, they have an amazing blog talking about some cool stuff, trends and reports and things of that nature. And I have a resource, secureyourbrand.com, secureyourbrand.com. You can go there and I curate. It wasn't some original 5,000 word piece, but it's a little booklet that people can go there and download to kind of get some of these tips and insights on how to better secure their business. When they get that, they'll be reminded how they can look at Bitdefender. And even Leland, bonus option, they can take a little scorecard after they download the booklet. I'll email them with a little scorecard that they can score themselves of how they're protecting their businesses. So secureyourbrand.com. They can go there and download some cool tools and be connected to Bitdefender as well.
Awesome. Well, great. Thank you for being on
Thank you.
and sharing all of your insight when it comes to cybersecurity and the benefits of Bitdefender and the was it protect your brand
The
or
secureyourbrand.com. Secureyourbrand.com.
secureyourbrand.com.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for
Thanks,
thank you for
Leland.
coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Leland, for being here.